It's here. Welcome back to Nicholas Comic Corner Classic. That's non-classics. This is episode number 1794 and double shot number 1688. Roughly, as this episode, 6 episodes away from episode 1800. Yep. Now, I got two Marvel trades, and both feature Luke Cage. Well, basically, that's one series he's in, and then one that came right afterwards. First up, we have the final trade for Power Man Iron Fist, Volume 2, Volume 3, Street Magic. Yep, that's what this thing is called. Collecting the last 6 issues of Volume 3 of Power Man Iron Fist, issues 10 through 15 of Volume 3, which are part of the numbering, which I'll get to that. What book numbering is part of, because it's quite interesting of how the fact this number counts for this character, but doesn't count for the other one. So this one basically, we have like a bunch of like street magic that pop up here. We have basically a bunch of crime bosses of Harlem, like Cottonmouth pops up here. In case you're wondering, does Diamondback, who is Luke Cage's own enemy from the original Luke Cage book, does he pop up in these issues? Nope, he doesn't come back yet. Not for another couple years, because this was concluded. I think it was actually just about a year before he came back. Yes, this was about a year before he came back. So, in this book, we actually have it where there's some former New Pride, who turns out to be Alex Wilder from the Runaways. Yes, this was actually his first appearance since the conclusion of the Avengers Undercover book. Yep, he popped up in this book next. This was the very next book he popped up in. And of course, we're going to go with New Pride. He's here with Tombstone, which I'm not really liking how he's drawn this book. I'm not really a big fan of it. I do like the color scheme for him. I do not like how he's drawn. We also have Black Cat here. Basically, a lot of like low-level crime bosses pop up in this book. And we also get to a plot from the previous volume where there's a program where people get criminal records who actually don't have any. Yes, and this is actually something that they don't really go into very much. They do explain this later on to the heroes, and like they're like question like why the heck, and of course you owe me $5. Yep, I thought it was so funny. Yep. Oh, by the way, that guy there, his name is Cottonmouth. Yeah, he's a classic Luke Cage villain from the original Luke Cage comic book from the 70s. Yeah, Black Mario on the cover here. Mm-hmm. This, of course, is done by David Walker. Artwork by 2 different artists on here. Most of this issues, except for one, is done by Stanford Green. Emma Bonnick, this issue 13. Yep. The cover, of course, is done by Stanford Green. So we first start out with basically kind of the backstory of the classic Luke Cage foes. We all get razor sharp teeth. So we have basically Cottonmouth, Piranha. And of course, coming the Fang Gang. Yeah, a lot of these characters here, Piranha and Cottonmouth, are pretty much in a way Luke Cage villains. Yep, that's pretty much what these people are. They are Luke Cage villains. Because why not? And this basically is like reminiscent about that. And of course, come back to present day where we have Luke Cage, Iron Fist, just battling a bunch of people, and of course, hands in the air. Don't shoot, we're Avengers. You know we're going to be late for that meeting. If you have, blame me. I will. This is so funny, like, read the police here, hope it doesn't affect my terms of my bail. I hope they don't shoot me. You're bulletproof. It still hurts. Yep. And of course, I have this program, which is a flashback of Luke Cage when he was Power when he was younger. Yeah. This is when they explained the whole thing, what happened with that. And of course, I believe they explained that the program was actually over Alex Wilder for some reason. Yeah, I'm not really sure why he did it for, but he did. He probably wanted to get rid of some people who are basically in his way. But yeah, the way Dave Walker wrote this, it's like basically what you expect from Luke Cage mixed in with Iron Fist. This definitely is a good book, definitely, and it's sad to see this book go Do I feel as though basically the Marvel made a mistake canceling this book? Yes. Yes, I do believe I do. I firmly believe it. That this book was a mistake it canceled. Because this book was good. I loved this book. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Damn good book. Do not know why it got canceled. It's kind of weird because right after this, basically both of them were split off their own solo books. One, basically for Iron Fist, was actually just launched just before the other book I'm talking about. And that book did last for a little while. It lasted for about a little over a year. And then got canceled. And when it was canceled, it was no announcement was canceled. That was the Iron Fist book. It managed to last for about, let's see, it basically had 8-issue run, and it was renumbered to issue 73, which is by far the lowest of the Marvel Legacy numbering. And then the book ended 7 issues right after that. Yep. And to date, there has been no explanation exactly why that book ended. It just ended thanks to the events and animation. This is the other book that started because of that. We have Luke Cage. Yep. Which is called Volume 1, Sins of Father. This collects the entire 5-issue run. Well, when it was known as Luke Cage before it was renumbered. I'll get to that. So, this is sort of a loose follow-up to the early issues of Luke Cage. Basically, Luke Cage is being told about the death of Dr. Noah Brockman. Who is this guy, you might ask? I think that's his name. Burstein. Dr. Noah Burstein. He's informed by his death. Everyone thinking, who the heck is this guy? He's the guy who gave Luke Cage his super strength. Yeah, pretty much what he did is he kind of recreated the super strength from the 1970s. And Luke Cage, well, is sad about his death. It turns out, nope, he never actually died. It turns out they faked his death. And they have a guy here called Michael Trainer. I wonder if this guy is named after Michael Turner, the late comic artist. It's possible. By the way, Dave Walker writes this one too. It's interesting though, he writes this book. The book comes out just after the ending of Power Man Iron Fist. Where, by the way, the whole book is set in New Orleans. And he's basically fighting various foes. And I like the fact that basically to start off this one, Dave Walker to revisit some early stuff in Luke Cage's career. And of course, Noah Baxter thinks himself as a father figure to Luke Cage. He's like, no, you're not. But yeah, we found out he actually is alive. How the heck do you mean? Why did he fake his death for? It relates to his experiments. Apparently, he's still doing experiments. And apparently, before he met with him, it was mentioned by people he knew close to him. He heavily respected Luke Cage for the work he's done. But I showed a flashback. He didn't like the fact he became a hero for hire. He didn't mind the superhero stuff. It just did the whole thing of him being for hire. That was one thing he didn't like. And it was showing a flashback that apparently he equivalent to be a mercenary. Which kind of it is, but he's like, hey, I'm just trying to make money. Yeah. And basically, as mentioned by Luke Cage's book, he had no plans to become a superhero. Nope. It's thanks to Super Strength he became a superhero. He had no choice in the matter. It wasn't like he mentioned the book. He didn't grow up around superheroes. He just basically became one, just by happenstance. Yeah, but in the case of this book is really good, and I do think it's great they brought back the character. Sadly, the very next story arc will be the end of the series. Yeah, it's something else altogether. It's Luke Cage going back to prison and the villain being Ringmaster. Yeah, I'll discuss that at a later point because that story arc, apparently from what I heard at the time of the book's cancellation, which was basically with the very next story arc, it was canceled due to low sales. Apparently this book was actually Marvel's lowest selling book. And here's the thing. Here's some quotable stuff from Geeked Out Nation, one of the most finest ongoing series. That definitely is kind of true. It's a really good book. The endearing story, great supporting characters, and determined Luke makes a great book. Yes, I do believe those quotes. It's actually really good. But sadly, the next story arc will be the end of the series. What is it called? I think it's called Cage, I believe it is. Yes. It is the second and last volume for the series. Now, I'm not sure why it stopped selling well, but it did. But the very next review But this is going to be pretty much it for this particular review. Stay tuned for our next review. It's going to be more Luke Cage. But first, do the introduction to this series before he shows up. Then talk about the actual trade itself. Okay, next video. Bye.